It's true that somebody is screwing us on the salsa. I don't know how that's going, but we don't seem to be getting very much of a financial pleasure out of it.
Really?
Yeah, but it's good salsa, and some of the money does go to Utopia. That's all I can tell you. It's kind of a... and some of it is going to HEB, and some of it's going somewhere else. So it's, the best way to help Utopia Rescue Ranch is to adopt a dog or donate. Yeah, now we just did a great B.J. Thomas show up in Salado, which raised a lot of money. And we're soon, Rodney Crowell is going to help us, and Billy Joe Shaver, and Billy Bob.
Okay, and you had to cancel that show, but it's your...
Well, the problem really is the venue. It's not Rodney or Billy Joe. They're ready to go.
Okay.
And so we could raise a lot of money just finding the right venue. And that seems to be working, and we're adopting a lot of dogs right now.
Okay, and you can go to your website. And
UtopiaRescue.com is the place to go. Check it out. And we've adopted a lot here in the Houston area. People that have driven up to the Hill Country. So come see us and check it out, because these are just great dogs, including my new dog, Winston Randolph Spencer Churchill Friedman, who is half Chihuahua and half Beagle. And he is a terrific watchdog, and he's about a foot long, a small little dog, but with this Beagle bray, you know how they go, I don't know, how do they, they're not, like that. Yeah.
Which is attractive.
Yeah, but he's a very good watchdog.
And you rescued that dog from the...
Yeah, and another one, Sophie, whose mother was homeless.
Okay.
And Sophie looks like she should be Laura Bush's dog. She's just a little blonde Cocker Spaniel who is very vicious and as a watchdog, and a great dog. And she was homeless, and her mother went right to a shelter, and her mother started crying, and realizing kind of that she was homeless and living in her car, and Sophie stayed with me, and that's where she's been for a year now. In fact, she's kind of a celebrity on television in Killeen, Belton, and the Waco area for the B.J. Thomas show, because she did the commercial with me.
Very nice. And you live in on your parents' property up in Kerrville, is that right?
It's on the ranch, old Echo Hill Ranch, yeah, which we have had since 1953.
Excellent.
And that's where it's very lonely monastic life, Rourke. And,
oh, it must be rough living in beautiful Kerrville.
And I have to drink a lot of tequila.
It's so much, in fact, that you open your own distillery up there in Kerrville. Is that right?
No. This, we have a new brand of tequila called Kinky Friedman's Man in Black Tequila coming out on Valentine's Day, and it is made in Jalisco, and it's the best Mexican mouthwash you will ever drink. And Kinky Friedman's Man in Black Tequila salutes Zorro, Paladin, and Johnny Cash.
I like tequila.
You're going to love this stuff.
Okay.
You're going to absolutely love it, and I think it's going to be really fun to promote, and it's happening. So part of that is Drunken Ira Hayes, the Indian. I was just, before I did that song the other night, by the way, I had an encounter with a woman who at the airport who asked me, a woman cop, very unpleasant woman, who asked me, "Is that thing lit?" And I said, "To which thing, madam, are you referring?" And she didn't find that humorous. And then I would just say, as regards Ira Hayes, the Thanksgiving season being over, which I think is fairly real. I mean, to the British, our British friends, happy Thursday, but to Americans, it should mean something. But the Christmas and Hanukkah season has merged into kind of a corporate, it's why Gandhi called us the one-eyed giant of the West, that we live way beyond our organic need. If you own 200 radio stations, you want to own 1,000. It's not enough. And by the way, let's go back to something we were going to say earlier, is that Kpft really has a place in my heart. I mean, what you guys are doing, this is what we need, is voices that... again, to say you guys are also one of the last few nails that haven't been hammered down in our society. And we really, we're becoming so trivialized and homogenized and sanitized. And Kpft is a real voice. And it goes all the time. I mean, it's, if you want to, and nobody else is doing this anymore. I mean, they're not.
Everything's so
harder
plastic.
And harder. Yeah, it's like having an independent bookstore or something like this, or being an independent candidate. I can tell you, even when you get a different guy, like I always like to point out Jesse Ventura, because Jesse Ventura is a very good man, and I saw it when he came down and campaigned with us here, that he would talk to a couple of college kids in the courtyard there for, hell, if I didn't pull them away, he'd talk for hours with them about Iraq. Or you won't see politicians do that. They know how to work a room, they know how to, but they maximize it all the time. They're really conscious of that. And then they leave us alone for 4 years once they're elected.
Right.
And treat us like abused spouses or something, and then they come back and say, I really love you, baby.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. So Jesse, as I say, as a good human being, is a very bad politician.
Mm-hmm.
He assiduously tells the truth. And I like to point out that Jesse is innocent, basically, and he just never realized that that wrestling is real and politics is fixed. And that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, back to the corporate things of Christmas and Hanukkah, I think that there's some things that children can grasp besides presents that the rest of us don't. To me, Hanukkah is meaningless, and so is Christmas. I mean, today the American experience of it is pretty meaningless. It's all about selling and buying and corporate stuff. So anything, that's why I champion Kpft, because any station that can make it like this, just on listener help, is got to be good. And not only America, the world needs more of that.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here. I could be plastic at any radio station in town, but I can come here and have you on and have anybody on and play whatever the heck we want. If it sounds good and we like it, we can talk about it and do it. And thank you for being a part of this great place.
Well, it's great to be here.
Absolutely.
It always is. And it's fresh, and it's a real voice, man. Try to think of a real voice in Washington. Try to think of imagine what the hell happened to, Ann Richards, Barbara Jordan, Molly Ivins, Texas's Democrats. How did the Democrats get from Harry Truman to Harry Reid? And the Republicans, of course, they're just a shadow of the other party. I mean, is there anybody in elected office that inspires you today?
Not elected. There's guys that run.
Well, Bill Clinton was a good one, I think. And Bill Clinton's had some really insightful things to say since, his comments about the Occupy movement. The truth is, the initial Occupy movement is coming from a very good place. And they had a good, Bill is right. They needed to focus on one positive thing, which could have been, his suggestion, was to bring all foreign corporations, bring them back to America, or we will punish you. Bring them back. Don't just say banks are bad. Say corporations, get everything back here to the country. That's what that's what Occupy is going to be about. If they'd have done that, that might have helped them not be hijacked. But all good revolutions get hijacked. That's what Simon Bolivar said, who's the only man to be kicked out of the country named after. He was exiled from Bolivia, a country named after him. And once they won the revolution, he told his men, gentlemen, we have plowed the ocean. And that's what Occupy did. It plowed the ocean. And that's what the Tea Party has done, too. And together, they got a great spirit, the kind of spirit the Democrats used to have when they stood up for people.
So are you ever going to run again?
Well, as we say, we never say never. But right now, I can't imagine. If the tequila does well, I think the cigar company will start doing really financial pleasure. And I just like to spend my time in Vegas playing the slots.
Which you'll do in the next month or so before the next tour?
Yeah, and write, do some more writing.
Okay.
But politics is, it's horrific. When you think about the truth, I'm still surprised that the Democrats, who I've been most of my life, have been a Democrat. Not anymore. I mean, I'm an independent now. I'm not a Democrat. But how the Democrats have spent their time calling Bill Clinton a racist, the Texas Democrats calling me a racist, they're calling Mark Twain a racist, they're calling the Tea Party racist. I mean, I don't know what else they're doing, how they have time to do anything else. And then you have the black people that have really done something, like Barbara Jordan, who most young people don't even know, black or white, don't even know who she is. And that's why Heroes of a Texas Childhood is resonating so well, this book. She's the one who talked about political correctness drowning America someday if we're not careful. And the day is here. And that's why they ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore, because You see, if Richard Pryor walked into our studio right now, a young Richard Pryor, Rourke, we couldn't make him a big star in America. We could not make him a mainstream success. We could make him a cult guy. We could make him a guy that plays 13 shows in 13 nights. But we couldn't make him a star again. Not in the climate that PC has brought upon America. We couldn't make Blazing Saddles again, the movie in our country.
Because there's just too many racial jokes. People can't handle. They're too sensitive. These days?
Look. I don't quite know the total answer, but I did a tour with Van Dyke Parks of Australia this summer. We did 17 shows. All of them sold out, by the way, which are my two favorite words in the English language, sold out. But Van Dyke and I noticed something right away about the Australian audiences. If something's funny, they laugh instinctively. If it's sad, they cry, including me singing Ira Hayes. And every time I got to Call 'em Drunk and Ira Hayes in Melbourne, there was this one Aboriginal man, an older man, very dignified, looked like kind of a military presence, who was standing up and just beaming beatifically during the song Call 'em Drunk and Ira Hayes. And he really related to it. But that audience never looked around to see what the rest of the audience was doing. The American audiences are really weak. I mean, they don't know, should we laugh at this point, or is this too much? Like, I'll give you an example. That's not even the point I'm trying to make. Is our society, our puritanical roots are showing. We're hung up sexually, religiously, racially, politically, every way you can speak about it, and totally hung up. And it's a shame. And, for instance, I was just saying, the dark side of the internet, I tell the audience, is that let's say there's a 57-year-old pedophile in New Jersey who is pretending through the internet to be a 27-year-old surfer in San Diego. Well, he contacts, again through the internet, contacts a 15-year-old girl in Montana who really is a middle-aged vice cop in Miami. That is the internet to me. That's where it's headed. That's where it's going. And lest anybody, please don't get me wrong, I despise pedophiles as much as anybody. But you do have to admit they always do slow down in school zones. Now that's the joke, okay? And it's a Willie Nelson joke. Any joke that doesn't go over, I say, is a Willie joke. But this is a Willie joke. And it goes over. It goes over very well because it's a good joke and a true joke. But in America, you're not sure. That takes a build-up before the audience can laugh at that. Now, an Australian audience, instantly, they know it. That's A material. That's pretty good. And they laugh.
So how does this country take a big shower?
Boy, I don't know. I guess the pendulum will swing back. You know, I just when I think of, I think Washington is just a reflection of Hollywood. It's the same thing Billy Bob is seeing in Hollywood, I'm seeing in Washington. That's all. And that is that I guess we didn't know that this guy, who I think this president has been trading on his ethnicity for 3 decades. Bill Clinton really is the child of poverty from the South. He wasn't in prep school, by the way, like Obama. But tell you all this is not personally against Obama. I mean, if the guy was able to inspire, that's all he needs to do. If he had what Ann Richards had, if he had what Reagan had, if he had what JFK had, or Churchill, or FDR. And the problem with Obama is if he gave a fireside chat, the fire would go out.
Kinky Friedman live in the Kpft studio, playing tonight over at the Mucky Duck. New tequila coming out on Valentine's Day.
Man in Black Tequila. Yeah.
Man in Black Tequila. And, of course, the new book with Billy Bob Thornton is already out, and you're just about to start.
No, it's not. It's finished.
It's finished.
Yeah,
it will be out
early next year.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, working with Billy is, there's a little bit of Sling Blade back there still. I mean, this is, but it's an eye-popping story. And this is not your celebrity memoir. I can guarantee you that.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Are you going to sing one more for us?
Oh, we